the God of the sun, the Christians then transform that feast into celebrating the coming of the Son of Justice. And S-U-N, not God of the S-U-N, but the S-O-N of justice. Jesus, the coming of the light of the world.
Although you can find similarities, you also have to respect the differences. And sometimes the similarities are there because they are genetic connections. They grew up out of the same root, but sometimes they're just convergences that happen to fall upon the same practice because people knew that the sun, gave life to the earth, and so sun worship was important all over the world, that kind of thing.
And is it true, I've seen, from what I know, Christianity grew off like Judaism, right?
Right.
Is that an example of that? How so?
Well, Judaism and Christianity are separate religions. Mm-hmm. Christianity borrows many Jewish ideas, but Judaism, even at the time of Jesus, was thriving, and it still thrives today. So they share a lot of ideas, but sometimes Jewish people become a little bit irritated because people talk about a Judeo-Christian tradition as if it's one tradition and as if Jewish religion is somehow dead or superseded by Christian religion, when really they're both vibrant, alive religions.
Right. Even pop culture notices this.
And why does he believe
Take
that?
comedian Louis Black, for instance.
Because he read it in the Old Testament, which is the book of my people, the Jewish people. And that book wasn't good enough for you Christians. Was it? He went, no, we've got a better book with a better character. You're going to love him.
Can you tell me a bit about Abraham? Because we've heard his name a couple times now.
Well, Abraham, started Judaism by founding the Israelite nation. And Christians and Muslims also honor Abraham. And so sometimes we call Christianity and Islam and Judaism the Abrahamic religions. He lived in present-day Iraq, and then he traveled with his family, extended family, over to present-day Israel.
Interesting. Well, then what about, what were the prophets or religious leaders before him?
Well, Noah, is sometimes revered, and even Adam. There was also Moses. Moses comes after Abraham, but or is it before? Anyway, Moses was the one who has the covenant with God on Mount Sinai, and God says to Moses, "I will be your God, if you will be my people." And then the Israelite people say, "Yes, we accept that." That's the real founding of Judaism.
Kresge stopped by the K House during a religious community gathering and talked to College of Pharmacy faculty member Syed Daoud about his Islamic faith.
You put them together in a time that people can go back and think about their origin, the spirituality of the Abrahamic faith, and how to really get together and how to celebrate that. So it happened that during the Christmas time and during the time that the Judaism, they call it Sukkot, they celebrate that. The Muslims also celebrate the same time. So basically, if you see that it is a celebration of the whole earth, that you have to draw from Christianity, from Judaism, from Islam, and this is what I call the collective effort of the Abrahamic faith and celebrate the essence of our well-being on this earth. And that is the significance of this time.
Dayoud talked with our reporters about his own pilgrimage to Mecca.
It's just a wonderful time, a wonderful moment, that because the atmosphere and the people around you, they are coming from all over the place. We are talking about 3 to 3.5 million people coming to one place. I have never seen in any place like that. I mean, I've been a lot of conferences, and when we are doing conferences and we make a big deal about conferences and stuff like that, we talk about 50,000 maybe. That is the max that we can do over here. But when you go over there in this conference, international conference, 3.5 million. So you see people from all over the earth, speaking different language, but they have one aim, is to come and reinvigorate their faith with God. And it was wonderful us because we had to have some time to just sit back and think about. We have all the luxury life, we have everything available to us, but we need also to have some moment for spirituality, and this is the time that we have.
Religion can be an important factor in life today. That's not to say that we have to be uncritical and say that everything's right about every religion. I think rather we should look at the details of the different religions and really question them, and those details that do foster virtues and flourishing in society, we should respect those.
More or less the belief is the same, but obviously the prophets or the messengers are not the same. When God sent a messenger to more or less remind people about the existence of one God, he sent, for example, Moses for Judaism. He sent Jesus Christ for the time of Christianity, or the time at that time, and then he sent the Prophet Muhammad for at that time. So there is, but all these three prophets are coming from one link, which is the Abrahamic link. So they are different, but the message is the same. And if you read the read the Quran, which is a holy book for Muslims, and the Bible or the Old Testament, you cannot see a difference, very minute difference between the three of them. Okay. Yeah.
Faith as an overarching idea is a fluid object. Faiths have borrowed, lended, and grown from each other throughout the history of time. Their differences are of as much note as their similarities. Faith may interweave, while at other times it will diverge into separate paths. It's the people that carry the faith and dictate its direction. Ultimately, common origins aren't what bind faith together, but the people that celebrate it.
But I think people have a fear that if they doubt anything about their religion, then the whole structure is going to fall down. I don't think that's a well-founded fear, though, because it's only through answering those doubts that you can have a belief or a faith or a practice that's at all strong. So I think that the religions should talk to one another, and that religions should talk to science, and that we should forge a new path. Also, another thing about that is that people tend to think that religions don't intermix and intermingle over time. But because they do, then we don't have to be afraid that they could become less pure if they're affected by a different religion, which goes back to your initial question.
Right.